So Proserv is traditionally an oil and gas company, 60-year heritage in oil and gas, but we have got this growing renewables arm. Proserv are a global presence. We've got 13 sites globally, over 800 staff, and we have a big presence in the oil and gas sector. But Proserv do so many things very, very well.
Day two of the Global Offshore Wind conference, and we're here at the Proserv stand. So how have you found the first couple of days?
Yeah, brilliant. It's been fantastic to meet some of our companies that we've been working with face to face, but also just have some interaction with people. There's a really good vibe, really good energy around the conference this year. Good to see some of the big developers here as well. The conversations have been really good. There's been some touching on some concerns within the industry, but and that's important to have that voiced as well. Generally it's been really good, it's been positive on the whole, which is fantastic.
Yeah, sure. And
I'm busy.
Which is always important. Yeah. And no prizes for guessing what sector you guys working with. The Lego turbine behind us.
This thing's sitting behind us, yeah.
And obviously behind you there, you've got all the projects that you're working on. So if you could kind of just talk us through where Proserv sits within the offshore wind sector.
Yeah, so Proserv is traditionally an oil and gas company, 60-year heritage in oil and gas, but we have got this growing renewables arm within the company. Sort of leading the charge on that is our ECG product, and that is a cable infrastructure management system. It's sort of cradle to grave, where we are able to install a cable management system, and within that system we have our own DES system. So that's distributed electrical sensing. We have some fantastic technology in that system, where we look at what's going on with the terminations as well as the cable, and that's vitally important because a large number of the cable failures happen with the terminations themselves. So we've our system provides sort of temperature technology, temperature sensing. We've got sheath and phase current, and some other fantastic analytics that go into that. But we've taken a lot of our sort of core business elements, which we've sort of brought over to the renewables arm within Proserv, which means that from sort of the procurement, the engineering, the project management, all the way to the testing, the installation, commissioning, the handing over of the equipment, and the servicing as well. We're able to sort of take that in its entirety and have that as an offering, which we're seeing and hearing that it's going really well, and the feedback's fantastic.
And that's what the energy transition's all about, right? Like, we hear from the government all the time about how we can bring the people for one, but also technology and ideas from the oil and gas sector and bring it into the renewables. So I guess offshore is a great example of that happening, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And why wouldn't we? Proserv are a global presence. We've got 13 sites globally, over 800 staff, and we have a big presence in the oil and gas sector. But Proserv do so many things very, very well. Our reputation in the oil and gas sector is very, very good. So from my perspective, why don't we lean in on that and lean into that slightly? Use the processes that are working really well, make the tweaks that need to happen, to make sure we're fitting correctly in the renewable sector. But yeah, if it's there, let's use it. Let's be as optimized as we can, and also have the best impact we can within the offshore wind sector.
Yeah, sure. And obviously we need to bring technology and innovation along with us as the government set out their ambition for more offshore wind. How important is it to kind of bring that in at early stages as possible? Because it's quite easy to think that the money for the infrastructure is going to go on the big turbine factories, but the technology actually helps tie up together all of the infrastructure. Is that a thing that's seen from the supply chain, from the government, or are we getting in at an early enough stage?
That's a good question. I think it depends on who you are, and what your offering is, right? So from a Proserv perspective, I use the analogy that Proserv as a company is like they're always playing a very good game of chess. We never let the dust settle on the chess pieces. We're always slowly playing and always slowly trying to adapt our offering and meet the demands of the sector. So whether that's oil and gas or what we're talking about now with the renewables sector. So we are constantly looking to streamline our current offerings and also looking, at the market, analysing the data, analysing the sector into where we could potentially adapt what we have, or look at sort of new offerings and new technologies as well. We've done that already with, we've got this ECG product, which we've, as you can see behind us, installed on a large number of projects. But we're actually able to install that outside of specifically on a turbine, for example, or at a substation. So we've extended that offering out already, and we're always looking to continue that with the technology.
Yeah, sure. And we had a record-breaking allocation round 7, which obviously helps with the pipeline of work in the future. There's been talks that AR8 might be rowed back a little bit more and have less gigawatt capacity. Are these allocation rounds something that can be a bit frustrating for the supply chain? We might have 2 gigawatts one time, 8 gigawatts the next. Would it be better to have a more solidified, it's going to be 3 gigawatts a year for the next 10 years? Or does it quite not work like that from a Proserv perspective?
Again, a good question. I think, they bought AR8 a bit closer, and I think that was welcomed by the sector. I think generally the wider, view on it is that we need to have these allocation rounds done. We need to get building, essentially. But I guess you look outside of that, the global climate at the moment means, some construction and some developments are pushing slightly to the right. Some things we can't help, and I think from our perspective, we just need to be prepared and ready to have the best offering we can. We aren't a developer of projects, so it's making sure that our offering is the best it can be. We are the best in class, which I think we are, and we're ready to sort of assist and install and offer our services as best we can.
Yeah, sure. And finally, it kind of feels pretty British to be talking negatively about AR7 when other countries would be their gold standard. So is there a case of the grass is always greener, and maybe we should look at celebrating the successes when we get them?
Absolutely. And I think one of we obviously talk to a lot of people here at conferences like this, right? But I think the good thing is that discussions are being had between manufacturers. Everyone here is actually looking to collaborate, and I think that's the main word, and that's my takeaway from Global Offshore Wind here in Manchester, is the collaboration is there, and people are willing to work together now to make sure that we all become successful and the sector becomes successful. And I think if companies keep moving in that direction, it's going to be successful.